Hey guys, today I'm gonna be interviewing Mr. Mr. Anthony Portantino. So, thank, so thank you so much for coming on today, Senator. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be here, my friend. Happy to be here.
So, question one, what made you want to be to be a senator?
Well, that's a great question, my friend. So I started on a small town city council, and I was 38 years old, and the city council was not very school friendly. And so I thought, you know what? There's so many people in our town who love our school district and love kids, and they should have a voice in their local government. And so that's what got me to run for the city council. And then after I served on the city council, I just sort of fell in love with this idea of public service and helping people. And so I just wanted to continue to do that. And so I went to the state legislature after my 8 years on a local city council, and I'm finishing up my term December 1st, and I've enjoyed my time, and I get to meet people like you and go to football games.
Nice. So, how long have you been a senator for? How many years?
This is my 8th and final year in the state senate.
Nice. What have you learned from being a state senator?
Well, I've learned that, first, California is a very big state, and we have lots of, diverse population, lots of different issues every day, different concerns, regional problems, local problems, state issues. And so it's really given me a lot of opportunity to learn about different issues. And, obviously, you come to the Capitol on SELPA Day to make sure that we legislators know what's going on in our SELPAs, what's going on in the different, populations of a school district. And so I love the fact that I get to learn so much from, people, whether it's the SELPAs or the veterinarians or the teachers or each group that comes to see us, has a local presence in my district. And so I've gotten to learn so much in my position, and it's been great.
Yeah. What has been your most favorite bill that you passed for?
Well, that's a great question. The very, very first bill that I introduced was to collect and store umbilical cord stem cells. The placenta, when a mother gives birth, the placenta and the umbilical cord are filled with stem cells. And so I did a bill to have the University of California, Davis collect and store those stem cells and make them available to cure leukemia and other, blood-related cancers. And so I'm very, very proud of that effort. I banned the open carry of handguns on Main Street, California. It took me 6 years to get autism care expanded. It was vetoed, I think, 4 or 5 times by 2 different governors. But we were finally able, after 6 years, to expand autism treatment. And so that makes me feel good. And then this past year, we were able to get some money to help with dyslexic, identifying students in first grade who have a risk for dyslexia. So those are some of the things that I'm very, very proud of.
Nice. And it seems like you're doing a great job bringing awareness to it. So I really appreciate you taking the time to explain to people how how important that is, cause I seen like people who don't know how to use the right term for it. So thank you for making sure they use making sure that they use the right term.
Absolutely. And you set an example too. I mean, you come to Sacramento and you lobby legislators, and that's, what we need to do is let everyone know, right? That to take advantage of these opportunities to talk not just to their city council members, to their school board members, but to their assembly members, their senators. Take those opportunities to come share their personal stories with us in the Capitol like you did. I mean, that's what this process is about, is the more we know what's going on in our districts, the better we can better represent.
Yeah. So for the viewers out there, like, if they want to be a state senator, what are the steps to being a state senator?
Well, there's various ways to get involved in politics. You can work on a campaign and help somebody get elected, and then you make contacts from that side, from the campaign side, and then there's also the policy side. We have people that work for us that have different policy expertise, different experiences, and so getting involved with a legislative office. There's a whole bunch of nonprofits out there that do different advocacy. I mean, obviously, disability rights is a very important player in advocacy for the disability community, but all the organizations from the Sierra Club to animal rights, to energy policy, to environmental protection, everybody has an advocacy group. And so one way to get involved in politics is through advocacy. And what I say to people who ask me what's the best way to get involved is I say, find an issue you care about. Yeah. And then, get involved in that. As you want to go into sports medicine, the athletic trainers have a lobbying group. Yeah. That come and talk about the importance of athletic trainers. And so, find an area that you care about and get involved in that. And then as you develop those relationships, when there's an opportunity to run for office, then you seize those opportunities to run. But there's so many things you can do that aren't necessarily the elected official to affect good public policy. And so the key is to get involved in one of those things and then sort of navigate from there.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so important for people to communicate with each other, to know exactly what they need. So
yeah, I'm gonna apologize, but I'm gonna sound like a dad for a second. It's important for people to take their headphones off and talk to each other.
Yeah. Yes. It is. I agree. And like, it's important for like people to speak up for one another, and yeah.
And your generation, from my observation, your generation really does look out for each other far more, I think, than past generations of young people. My two daughters are 10 years apart, and I see a difference in how they interact with their peers and their friends. Your generation is far more protective of each other than I think past generations. And I think it's indicative of two things. That your generation is a deeply caring group of people, but I think it's also a recognition of the challenges that your generation is facing, that you all instinctively know that many of you have issues and need support and need care and love, and are willing to do that for each other. And it's really nice to see.
Yeah, I know you met with Governor Newsom, so if it will be okay, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I can tell you he's very tall. And at a recent event, I referred to him as the tall guy. And then he referred to me as the OG, which is, I guess, original gangster. I don't know what that is. So that was kind of funny how we went back and forth. But I find him to be very intelligent. Like me, he's a dyslexic. And so we both have had to deal with, a learning disability through our time in school. And I think I always call it, being a dyslexic and ADHD, I always call it my superpower, because I can listen to 7 conversations at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think the governor feels the same way, that, he's overcome so much. And so I like him on a personal level. Recently, we were talking about the entertainment industry, which is very important to California. And the governor is trying to help keep those jobs in California that, other countries and other states, Georgia, Canada, they try to steal our productions. And so the most recent interaction I had with him was about how we keep film production in California. And that was the press event where I got to introduce him and tease him about being tall.
Yeah, but how many people were there, would you say?
How many people to do what?
How many people were there to listen to you and introduce Governor Newsom?
Well, it was kind of funny because it was on the news coverage covered the event, and there were about 100 people there in person, and then all the news coverage was there, and it was an honor to be asked to introduce him. So he likes to be the last speaker, so I got to go right before him and do an introduction, and it was very. I felt I was honored that they asked me to do it. And it was at one of the studios in Hollywood, and it was nice. And like I said, I'm very impressed with him. I mean, he works hard. He's a caring person. As you know, we've got 40 million people in California. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And from San Diego is different than Fresno, and Los Angeles is different than the Inland Empire, and in Los Angeles County, I think there are 88 languages that are spoken. And so it's a very diverse state. We have very rich people. We have very poor people. We have an immigrant generation. There are a lot of challenges, whether it's energy, gasoline, electricity. And it's a hard state to govern because it's so big. And, I think he's doing as good a job as can be done.
Yeah. I know you passed some mental health bills. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that, please?
Absolutely. So you have your student ID, right?
Yeah. Yes.
On the back of your student ID, I put the suicide prevention hotline number on all student IDs. And so that's important because we want young people to have the resources they need if they're in a crisis. We want them to be able to contact the right people. The other thing that does is it lets young people talk about behavioral health. I mean, part of the crisis is keeping depression and anxiety in the shadows. We keep, people will go to a party and they'll talk about their sports injury, their cholesterol, they'll talk about a sprained ankle. But a lot of people are embarrassed to talk about their behavioral health crisis, and so we have to bring that to the forefront.
Yeah.
And so that's one way to do it. We also, as I said before, a lot of young people like to advocate for each other, and so I added mental health, behavioral health to school curriculum. So in health class, you're going to learn about behavioral health issues, not just physical health. You'll learn about behavioral health.
Yeah.
And so I was successful in getting that change made to the health curriculum. And then the other issue, which I didn't know until it was brought to my attention, was with absences. If a student was absent from school because they had a cold, that was okay. That was accepted. But if they were absent from school because of depression, that was not considered an approved reason to stay home. So schools did not treat behavioral health and physical health equally. And so I did a bill to make sure that behavioral health and physical health are treated the same way by schools.
And thank you for doing that, because I have certain friends that needed help. So thank you so much for passing the bill, cause like you said, it's like for me, it's like life is very precious. Like you only live once, so.
That's right, my friend. It is precious. It is very precious.
Yeah. What do you hope your legacy to be when you leave office?
That's a great question. What do I want my legacy to be? I don't know. I think my mom was a good soul, and people always thought good thoughts about her. It would be nice as I leave office if people just see me as a good guy. That would be good. Obviously education policy has been important, mental health, sensible gun control, just trying to make our communities safer and our kids healthier. I pushed school start time back later in the day because there was lots of research that said if teenagers sleep in the morning, they're healthier and happier.
Yep.
And, we want healthy, happy kids, right?
We want happy kids, and not even that, they need to learn at school as well. So
yeah,
and I feel like if they sleep well, they pay more attention during class, so it really benefits all of the students, all of the high school generation, and it really helps the little ones too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Senator. I really appreciate it.
No, happy to be here, my friend. When I heard you were doing this, I wanted to come and talk to you and support you, and I look forward to seeing and hearing all the good things that you're going to do with your legacy.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator.
All right, my friend. You take care of yourself. Be well. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
Be well. Bye-bye.
Be well. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys got to know Senator Portantino a little bit more. I'm gonna put my links down in the description box below. That way you guys can follow me. Thanks. Bye.